WIBTA for throwing every wrestling match I am forced to attend? I am not the original poster. That is you, no, Grand, 4260. He posted in r, am I the asshole? This is a repost of this BORU here. Though I reformatted it, added more time, date stamps and added OOP's relevant comments. Trigger warning. Bullying mention. Less than. Mood spoiler. Oop ends up decently okay. But holy toxic masculinity Batman. Less than. Original post. July 1st, 2021. My 15M. School has recently restarted all of the sport programs after almost a year of no, limited activity. Before that I was part of the swim team. One of the smaller groups at our school. I love swimming and it really sucked that we couldn't go for such a long time. With the restart, the school also made a new system. Every student writes down 3 different after-school activities in order of interest. So 1. Choice as your favorite. 2. Your second favorite and so on. The teachers in charge of the groups then pick the students. First pick is students who already belong to the groups before lockdown. Second pick is then random and third pick is if there are still places left open in the group. Since I was part of the swim team before and put it down as my first choice, I would basically be guaranteed to get in. But now the results are out and I was placed in wrestling. I never even put that on my list at all. So I went to the teacher and asked what's going on. Turns out the teacher in charge of wrestling specifically requested me for whatever reason. Turns out my dad knows the wrestling teacher quite well and asked for me to be placed on the team. I know my dad hates that I prefer swimming. He always says it's not a real sport and that I should do some sport that actually gives me muscles. He constantly tells me I'm too skinny for a guy and has made several attempts to make me go to the gym to work out. I ask the teachers if I can still switch teams but they say no. I also cannot just avoid the wrestling club because after-school activities are mandatory. So last night I had a huge fight with my dad. I called him an ass for forcing me to go to wrestling and that I will just forfeit every single match I have to attend. He threatened me, saying if I do that he will take away all my electronics and I will only be allowed to leave the house for school and nothing else. My mom says I should have the right to choose whatever sport I want. But now that I'm on the wrestling team I should still do my best also not to call my dad an ass. But I don't want to participate in something I have zero interest in. Was forced into even. Also I was really looking forward to swimming again and meeting my teammates. Edit. Same day. Thanks so far for the support. Next week I will talk to more teachers. Guidance teacher and also write to the principal. Guess I will also try to talk with my mom again and maybe convince her. Also will mention what some people wrote that wrestling could potentially dangerous, maybe that will convince her. Worst case I will go through with it and just put in zero effort. If no one listens to me. Edit 2. Same day. 9 hours later. So this has gotten a lot more responses than I thought. First of all, thanks to everyone supporting me. I talked to my mom again. Without my dad nearby. She still thinks I should give wrestling a try, but if I really want to change she will support me. So next week I will go and talk first to my swim coach and the wrestling coach and hopefully get it resolved. Otherwise I will go further to the principal. I can post an update next week and tell you guys how things worked out. Some of you suggested I should go to the newspaper or something. But I really do not feel comfortable blowing things up like that. Slandering the school is gonna backfire like 100%. I have also gotten a lot of creative things instead of just throwing the match. I would like to show my face in public sometime, so no. I will ignore most of the really weird suggestions. Thanks, I guess? I also got a few questions about the rule of afternoon activities being mandatory. So we have to do activities for 2 years total, but we are free to choose when we do them during high school. We can choose between a lot of club activities offered by the school, not just sports but all kind of activities. Music, art, reading, writing clubs, gardening, or even game design. School club activities are always free, and if you require financial assistance for like an instrument or so, I think you can also get financial aid. But I don't really know the details. Additionally, if we attend a club or regular activity outside of school, we can also get credits for that. Just need work it out with the teachers. We also don't get grades or something. It is just noted on our final report. I also do not really know what happens if you don't complete them. Relevant comments. WTF. Swimming is very much a workout. Yeah, I will try and talk to my teachers again. Maybe they will let me switch later, cause I know a lot of people are asking right now to switch, since they didn't get their first choice or so. And yeah, Dad doesn't like cardio workouts and so on. He also wants me to eat more and lift to get bulky like him. More on picking students. You could compromise and tell your dad you would go to the gym with him. Teachers get to pick students to build the teams back up. But I don't think the idea was to just pick a random student like me who never was on the team to begin with. Also, hard no on the gym thing. I have tried working out with my dad together. He's a jerk, always telling me to lift more and that I'm pathetic for not being as strong as he is. But if the sport aren't mandatory, why can't you switch activities? This is the first time the school has done things like this. 'Cause lockdown and so on. Maybe they will let people switch later on. Results came out this week. But I don't know. The homeroom teacher who collected the vote just immediately told me no, I can't change. Oop is voted NTA. Update post. July 5th, 2021. 4 days later. So I wanted to write an update after the situation has been resolved. First things first. I am back on the swim team. For now. Today was a really weird and awkward day. First opportunity I went to talk to my swim coach and explain the whole situation and that I'm not willing to stay on the wrestling team. He was pretty mad at my dad as well as the wrestling coach. So he took me to the secretary, explained the whole thing and asked her to change the list. She was in turn quite mad, because apparently the whole system is a big mess. I'm not even remotely the only student who was misplaced. So then the secretary called in my homeroom teacher. There was a lot of accusation. I was just standing there feeling awkward. Really weird to see 3 adults being mad at each other. In the end, I was basically told by all 3 to just ignore the whole thing and that I can just join the swim team if I want to. I figured that was it. Until the end of school day, then the wrestling coach had me come to his office. He gave me a long talk about how disappointed he is, how he had high hopes for me, blah blah blah. I told him I really don't care and that he was a jerk for just ignoring what I want to do. To sum up, wrestling coach mad at me, homeroom teacher mad at me for complaining, swimming coach mad at school, and my dad is probably gonna freak out when he hears that I won't wrestle. Oh well. Lastly, I want to thank all the people that encouraged me to stand up for myself. You had a lot of good advice, and some really weird advice, and some really terrible but funny advice. Thank you all. Edit. Sorry, forgot the link to the original post. https www.reddit.com/r/amethasshole/comments/obhgc0/WIBTA for throwing every wrestling match I am. Small update. Same post. Same day. Mom told Dad about the switch as he came home from work. He has so far completely ignored me. Not a single word. Actually a nice outcome, I guess. Last update. July 7th, 2021. Same post. 2 days later. I wanted to add a last point here. Last night, I had a talk with my dad and my mom. It was awkward. Dad apologized for the wrestling thing but also said he wants me to grow up strong so that I can defend myself. He says swimming won't help me when I get in trouble. I was really confused about that because I never have been bullied or gotten in trouble or something like that. Mom later told me that my dad used to get bullied a lot in high school. So he started working out in college and that helped him a lot. I guess he wanted me to do the same. It's really weird at home at the moment. But I guess he is not a complete ass? Still kinda, but I don't know. Relevant comments. Why does the homeroom teacher blame you? And why did the wrestling coach have high hopes? The homeroom teachers were supposed to collect the choices and then evaluate them. Don't know the details. They also gave us the results. So he had to explain to the secretary why my choices were ignored. She was not happy when he said, because wrestling coach said so. And I guess homeroom teach was mad for being called out like that. As to the wrestling coach, I don't know. I guess he wanted to make me feel bad or something like that. No idea what dad told him. Report the wrestling coach. I guess I could report him. But at this point I'm just happy that things worked out. Don't really want to potentially stir up more trouble. Still baffled your dad thinks swimmers aren't in shape. He would probably say Michael Phelps is way too skinny to be a real man. Maybe I should point out how stretched my dad's shirts are from his beer belly. Moving forward. Can't wait until I start studying and can move out. Editor's note: since it's been over 2 years since Oop posted. I hope he has continued to be able to swim and that he's either out of the house or close to being. So OOP's dad was apparently trying to protect him from hypothetical bullying at school by bullying him at home. Right. Dad needs therapy and a reality check. Father of the Year, puking his undigested trauma all over his kid. Hope Oop is thriving. Dude should take his dad swimming every Saturday. See how long before he taps out. I don't even know what to think about this one. I'm truly at a loss. This feels like weird small town or deep suburban drama. Dad's probably friends or something with the wrestling coach. Possibly weird high school politics shenanigans too. I had some similar experiences where I was often some weird pawn in various teacher squabbles over turf and prestige. Had nothing at all to do with my skills or interests in some cases. Was all down to bizarre parent-school administration politics and the like. At least my parents prioritized making sure I got to do what I wanted, but I suspect if I had a dad who had weird hang-ups, it might have gone very differently. Schools can be weird. So odd. My son played water polo and those boys were ripped by the end of the season. Swimming away from bullies is just as effective as trying to wrestle them. Seriously. Team wrestling is just not a street fight. And muscles are no guarantee of winning fight technique if people are just coming at you with random aggression. I once worked at a small school that had a fantastic cheer coach. She worked there because it was where she was from and her husband had a great job in the area. However, she could have absolutely gotten a job at one of the universities that had a cheer program, etc. She taught summer classes and workshops at the college level during the summer. Knew professional football cheer staff at the NFL level. She'd been some of their trainers' coach in the past, so our small cheer team was pretty elite. She had helped build the local junior programs that led up to the HS. I should add that unlike other local schools, she had a good number of boys involved. There was not a gymnastic program. Well, she and the football coach caught wind that a number of football players were making fun of the cheer squad, especially the boys. It was starting to escalate. So, They had a combined workout one day after school. As expected, the cheer squad ran proverbial rings around the football team. Then, to show off, two of the guys did backflips down the field. I feel like if the wrestlers were to try to run around a track with the swimmers would kick their ass. So the father's excuse is he was bullied and in turn decided to bully his son? Is being on the wrestling team really even a good way to be prepared to defend against bullies? I mean, obviously these guys are going to have some moves. But wrestling is technical and full of rules. I don't think a schoolyard brawl is going to follow those rules. If I'm the dad and want my kid to be prepared to defend themselves, I'm suggesting an actual course on the subject outside of school. Sign that kid up for Krav Maga over the summer or something. Somewhat ironic that his father wanted to make him a real man and tough by joining arguably the most homoerotic sport possible. Also, swimming is a great workout and exercise. Maybe this is just the public school in me talking. But what a weird setup. My school had tons of sports and activities, but they cared zero who participated and who didn't. Once the bell rang, I could be off cosplaying a raccoon in a restaurant dumpster, and my teachers would just suggest a good way to describe that on a college application. Poor Oop. I hope everything is okay now. Dad is an ass. Swimming is the best sport if you want a fit body and minimal physical trauma from workout. Dad doesn't want Oop to be able to protect himself. He just wants his son to be a copy of Daddy Dearest. Wrestlers are the opposite of large bulky guys. It's a lot of strong guys, yes, but mostly very lean and small as they are constantly cutting weight. Weird that wrestling is peak masculinity for the dad. I'd figured at least boxing or something would make more sense. Professional wrestling looks like a pretense to grab the other guy in a sporting context to my untrained eye. Unless the dad wanted him to be the next Hulk Hogan kind of wrestling. Wait, that's just more crotch grabbing. I remember this one. I don't remember anyone fighting over me in high school. In my head, the dad is a completely roided out, beer gut hanging over his pants, red-faced, no vegetable eating caricature who's on target to die of a heart attack before he's 50. He would probably say Michael Phelps is way too skinny to be a real man. Maybe I should point out how stretched my dad's shirts are from his beer belly. The ungodly laugh I let out when I read this part. It's genuinely very sad that the dad will probably never realize that he's now become the bully. The father could have talked to his son and asked him if he's getting bullied, or at least tell him that, hey son, I'd like you to pick up wrestling because I worry you might get bullied. Like I had been. But no. He thought it was a much better idea to bully his son into wrestling and make him miserable. Wow, an awesome idea, huh?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. EpicAracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.